Hey guys, so I'm going to show you how I can create this end-to-end AI agent workflow that can generate ad creatives for you like this. Okay, so this entire image was basically generated using this workflow and AI agent. And all I really asked guys for it to do, I said, create an ad for my energy drink, Crazy Bull. Okay guys, this is literally all I asked right here. And it generated this ad creative for me. Okay, pretty awesome considering I didn't provide any guidance, style direction, right? Because all of this is already included in the prompt for the AI agent in this workflow. Okay, so pretty awesome. So if you are in marketing and if you want to A/B test different ads or really just create concept ideas, then definitely it's really useful. Or maybe if you want to sell this as a service to somebody who's marketing or marketing agencies, right? So it would be really cool for them because they can A/B test ads really, really fast and get ideas, right? I've been in marketing personally for 6 years, and I know how painful it is to actually come up with different ideas. It can take hours, right? But now with something like this, you can literally brainstorm and just type in anything and get so many different ideas for your ad creative and campaigns, right? So it's a really, really useful flow, especially for people in marketing, right? You can get this entire workflow for free, guys. You already know, as always. So the link will be in the description box or below the video in the comment section, right? Whichever, I don't know which one. So make sure to check it out. So yeah, it's going to be JSON template. Just go to your N8N, create new workflow and import the workflow. If you're just starting off with N8N, there's going to be also a partner link for N8N. So if you want to support my channel so I can keep making these videos, make sure to use the N8N partner link so I can keep making these super cool videos for you and keep providing these free JSON template for you, okay? Okay, so if you're a complete beginner, let me explain you how this entire thing works and how the magic actually happens in this workflow, right? So, and again, I'm providing a sticky note right here where I'm basically explaining what it does, how it works, use cases, right? And a example preview right here. So if you want to see the end result, what you can achieve with this, here it is, guys. And as I mentioned, pretty cool. You have the headline, really simple, but engaging subheadline, CTA, and the ad creative itself, right? So it's following the best ad creative, I would say, best practices, right? Usually we do 80-20, meaning you want 80% of the ad to be the actual image, right? And 20% you only want to be the text, right? You don't want to have like text taking up the entire ad creative because people on social media have very short attention span, so they are more visual rather than reading stuff on the screen, right? So that's why we're making sure that we don't use too much text and mostly communicate the emotions and also what we're trying to sell through a visual aspect rather than just a bunch of text which nobody really cares about. Cool, guys. So let me now explain how that works, right? So if I open my executions, so we can now see how the flow works. Believe it was this one right here. Okay, cool, yeah. So the way it works basically, guys, we have the Telegram trigger node, okay? And Telegram node triggers the entire workflow. You need the trigger node to do anything in N8N, right? It can be either Telegram, it can be a WhatsApp, it can be a webhook. And webhook basically is a think of it as a bridge between N8N and different platform. So maybe you have like a, custom form submission, or maybe it's coming from WordPress or Shopify, right? So you can connect that with webhook and basically send, for example, data from your custom form submission or your landing page or webhook and send it to N8N and it's gonna do its thing, okay? So that's basically what webhook does. Think of it as a bridge between N8N and third-party apps and stuff like that, right? So then we're sending everything to a agent. This is mostly where the magic happens, right? So if I pop up the agent right here, the prompt is, I would say medium complexity, because there's some aspects from marketing and advertising. If you're not from the field, it will be kind of a complex to understand what's happening here. So let me explain that to you. So the basics of agents, we are defining the role or the character, you can say so, of the agent. Really important that you always need to explain what the agent is and what's supposed to do. Otherwise, it will be lost in the dark, right? So it won't know what exactly it's supposed to do with all this, right? So Then we're basically explaining the output, right? So I want specific output because I want the creative, I want the image prompt itself, add copy, which is basically one line, tagline, one short line, and one CTA. Okay, so I'm using more LLM friendly language rather than just doing like human based raw inline text. Right, this is more clear and understandable for LLMs because that's closer to what they receive, internally. I don't want to say internally because if we talk about internally, that will be Python, and Python will be divided into like binary and into bytes. But again, not to sound too geeky, so it's just more clear to the LLM rather than just doing something like this, right? Then we have the best practice for the image prompt. Okay, this is kind of where the magic happens in a sense, right? Because if you don't explain this, what's going to happen is going to generate images where text kind of cuts off or goes outside image, or it's not centered, right? Or uses cheap fonts. So that's why this prompt is really important, right? Because here we're explaining the composition and framing, which is important, right? The hero angle, centered product, or lifestyle in use shot, right? So lightning, environment, brand integration, copy space, right? Reserve negative space, top or sides for text overlays and such. Aspect ratios right here, so really important. So if you're going to be downloading this workflow and you communicate with your agent through the Telegram, make sure to note: is it for TikTok? Is it for Instagram? Is it for Facebook? Right? Because aspect ratios are different. Facebook ad is a square, Reels is 9:16, Stories is 9:16, TikTok is 9:16. Right? So there's a difference for aspect ratios, right? And 4:5 is the Instagram's fairly recent feed style. Okay, then best practice for copy. Okay, we want to keep it short, again, because ads are mostly visual, 3 to 6 words, direct value or benefit, tagline, CTA, avoid jargon. You can change this actually. So if you want to have more bold copy, right, something like, more brave, I would say, you can remove this and say something like use bold copy style. And when we say bold copy style, it doesn't mean that it's going to be in bold letters. It means that it's going to use more daring language, I would say, right? While still being PG-13 friendly. Okay, guys, don't worry about it. Then we have rules. So always output JSON only, no markdown, no prose, only when creative, no variants. Really, just because I don't want to like have like bunch of variants or a bunch of images, right? So we only want to have one ad creative at a time. Okay, and then it's really useful or good practice to provide always an example when you're working with ad creatives or ad creative videos, right? Always provide a example of the final output it should be doing, right? So here, image prompt, again, just kind of providing an example. And I'm just noting here, this is an example only. I don't want to use this as an actual prompt, so it's really important. If there's something really important, or like a really important rule for AI or for LLM, make sure to do it all caps, okay? Because then it understands, okay, this is actually important. I have to make sure that I do implement this, okay? Okay, so if I go back to agent, that's our prompt, okay? And if you ask me like, okay, that's a prompt, but how we are communicating the Telegram requests to a agent, right? So that's a good question. If you see here, we're using something called expression, right? So everything that is in double curly braces and followed with $JSON, basically those are expressions, right? Or if you're coming from programming or tech field, that's equivalent of a variable, right? So we're using a expression to basically get the data from the previous node to feed that into this node right here, a agent, right? So here you can see this was my prompt. I create an ad for my energy drink Crazy Bull, and then it follows with the rest of the prompt. Okay, and how I got this, if you look on the left side of here, you can see Telegram trigger and message. Okay, and here is the text. Okay, so all the way, if we kind of go down from Telegram to chat to the text, okay, that's where it's coming from, right? So message.text, which is basically this one right here, message and text. Okay, so that's basically how we are accessing variables. It reminds me kind of object-oriented program language in JavaScript. When you're doing kind of a this method. So it's kind of similar. Again, guys, if you're not in from programming, you'll be confused like what the hell I'm talking about. But yeah, we're just basically referencing something from the main object right here, which is a message, right? And we're trying to get the data from here. So the prompt is from the message, and it's under the message from the Telegram trigger in a sense, right? All right, guys. So then once we do that, we're sending everything to the OpenAI generate image node. This node is real simple. It can do two functionalities. It can either create an image or analyze an image. And we're using the OpenAI's GPT image 1. Okay, you don't want to be using DALL-E or DALL-E 3 because it's going to generate those like cartoonish or anime looking pictures, which might be good. But again, GPT-1, definitely make sure that's the right one chosen here. If you download this workflow, it's going to be there by default. But if you're kind of playing around with workflow and you see like something like DALL-E 3, don't go with that. It's just going to be really cartoonish and really not a good quality, especially if you want to run ads on Facebook, right? Unless you are, running ads for something more, less realistic, maybe kids products or maybe some accessories, and you want to give that, cartoonish feel to it. That could be a good aspect. But again, GPT-1 can do the same thing. You just need to say, hey, can you make it more cartoonish, anime style, stuff like that? And it's going to essentially do that for you, okay? So once we do that, we send all of that to the OpenAI generate image node. It takes roughly about, let me see, 1 minute. So it takes roughly 1 minute to generate the image and go through the entire workflow. Pretty good. Then again, AI agent has OpenAI chat model. I'm using a 4.1 mini. I'm usually between 4.1 and 4.0 mini for most of the tasks. I don't like to use 4.0 because I do believe it's not compatible with tools agent. So if your agent that is using tools, you're going to get an error saying that you're using a model that is not supported for tools usage. So all the mini models are compatible with the tools, but I do believe that ChatGPT 5 model is actually compatible with the tools. The only reason I'm using 5 is because it's really slow. So if I would do the same thing with the model 5, it would probably take like 3 to 4 minutes, right? Even for basic anytime workflows to generate text-based workflows, it takes easily 3 minutes, which is a bit of an overkill, right? I feel like it's not really optimized yet. Then we're basically using a merge node. Okay, and merge is really simple. It essentially does exactly what it does. It's merging two things together, right? And we are doing that so we can send it to the aggregate node right here. And we're doing that basically so we can aggregate that into a data. You can see here on the left side. So from the merge node, this is the format. Okay, so what it basically does, it just puts everything into a data array, right? So it groups everything under a single data field or data array, right? Then we're sending all of that as a final result to Telegram, and here it basically receives that. Okay, so here is the output from the aggregate, right? And then we are basically sending all of that to the user. Obviously, we are only sending specific things, right? There's a lot of stuff that is not visible to our eye when we receive the message for a reason, because I mean, there's really no reason for you to like see all this. This is really more backend stuff for a Telegram. Really, the only thing we are interested in is output. Okay, so that's the only thing we want to output to the user. And that's pretty much it, guys. And that's it, guys. I hope you did enjoy the video. If you did, make sure to like and subscribe. If you want to learn more about how to actually create Telegram agents and bots from scratch, make sure to check out my YouTube channel because I have full A to Z tutorials on how to actually create Telegram agent and bot, meaning creating a brand new bot in your Telegram, getting the access token, getting the chat ID and all that stuff, guys. So if you're a complete beginner, make sure to check out those videos. I believe it's called something like create Telegram chatbot or a agent, something like that. So make sure to check out my YouTube channel. If you can find it, let me know down in the comments and I'll send you the link directly, or just leave it in the comments, okay? But yeah, guys, make sure to get this free JSON template because it's ready to go for you guys. All you need to do is just create your bot and open AI API keys, right? Like mentioned here for the credentials. If you run into any issues or you're kind of unsure how to get your OpenAI API keys as well, guys, check out my YouTube channel. I have full tutorials on that. If not, just leave a comment. I'll help you out and I'll explain you how to do that. But hey, guys, as always, you already know, I'm going to wish you a happy building and I'm going to see you next time.